So still waiting for the participants. We will start Paul, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because you have a limited time, so yeah, we have to start in the exactly time, right?
Yeah, to be honest, the presentation is not going to be an hour, but we've got some leeway.
Okay.
Okay, Mongo.
If that's so, I will open this webinar. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Since everyone has already here, let's just start this afternoon's webinar. Previously, I would like to thank you for attending our second webinar, which is part of the series of Talent Fit Indonesia 5th anniversary. Also, we want to inform you that apart from this afternoon's webinar, there will be another webinar on July 29th, which is not less interesting, with the theme Employee Proposition in Disruptive Era. So everyone, please make sure to always update it of our webinars, which can be seen on our Instagram page. For tonight's webinar, after this, we will jump to the main session. And after that, there will be Q&A session with door prizes for the most interesting chosen questions. For the Q&A session, everyone here can write down the question in Slido. Later on, our admin will send the link in Zoom chat box. Let me show you how to submit question using Slido. Wait a minute. Okay. Is my screen can be seen right now? Okay, let me show you how to use this Slido. First, it's not seen. Wait a minute. Can be seen? Okay. Because another person is sharing their screen, so I cannot show my screen. It's okay. Later on, our admin will send the link for question, and you can write your question over there. So the theme for our webinar this afternoon is Gamified Your Assessment. Get the best candidate experience with our speaker, Mr. Paul Keijzer, which is the CEO of Talent Games. Is it right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, since Mr. Paul is already here, maybe I can ask first, how have you been, Mr. Paul?
I'm very good, thank you. It's been an exciting 12 months, and we're very excited that we've launched our solution together with Talent Fit in Indonesia last year. Very happy with the success that we've got with the clients that we've serviced, and even more excited to showcase what we've done and what we can do for other companies to your participants.
It's really nice to hear from you, Mr. Paul. Okay.
Thank you.
So, is there any opening speech from you, or before we start the main session, or we can just jump to the main session, Mr. Paul?
No, I would like to give a short presentation, if you allow me.
All right, then the time is yours, Mr. Paul.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm going to give you a bit of a 20-minute presentation around how you can create an award-winning candidate experience for your organization. And the whole purpose is to make it a little bit interactive. So if you've got any questions, any people's participants have any questions, they can certainly either put them in the chat box or even share them live on the screen. Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Amanda, for being here. Congratulations, Talent Fit, with your 5th anniversary. I'm running my own 2 companies, and I know that the first couple of years are the toughest. So the simple fact that you've achieved this milestone with the clientele that you have is absolutely awesome, and a credit to the leaders and the services that you provide. The Talent Games has also been around almost for 5 years, and in that 5 years we've now we've provided gamified assessments to about close to 2 million people. So we've been quite successful in showing what you can do in terms of creating a very different candidate experience. So the idea of today is to talk about two things, because it's not just about the candidate experience. Correct. On the one hand, you want to make sure is that the candidate has got the best experience, so your employer brand stands out. But at the same time, I also know that recruiters have many pain points in the process of recruiting, specifically in the process of bulk recruitment. And so what I would like to address today is in this presentation that we talk a little bit about what millennial and Gen Z candidates expect from companies in terms of recruitment, how that expectation met current candidate experience, what are the pain points in the pre-screening process of candidates, can transform that experience going forward. So these are the 4 elements that I'm going to talk about over the next 20 minutes. And like I said, please feel free to ask any questions that you have. We all know what the benefit is of a positive candidate experience. These are just some statistics. In this case, from kellyservices.com, where they again would refer people to other companies, would others refer others to your company, would even increase the purchase of that company, and would share that experience with social networks. So the moment that a person is positive about the experience that he has in the recruitment of that company, it has a tremendous impact, not just on that one individual, specifically also all the people that he can influence. And of course, the opposite is even more impactful. So the moment that somebody is negatively has got a negative impression of a recruitment process, that you would only 1 in 4 out of 10 people would say, I would never seek employment again in that company. 22% would tell even others not to work there, so actively disengaging others. And 9% would go even so far that they will tell them not to purchase services from that company. So candidate experience, as you know, now backed up by facts, is extremely important, not just to create your employer brand, but also to create a reputation for your organization. And so the problem, of course, is that talent as we know it have very different expectations and demands than it was a number of years ago. I'm sure the expectations that you have as a professional from the organization that you work with is different. But I'm sure if you are a recruiter by any chance, then you also have noticed that the experience that other people are looking for is very, very different than it was many, many months ago. And the best way to showcase this is through this hilarious clip that I've now used a couple of times, and maybe you've seen it before, about what an experience looks like with a millennial C candidate. Let me just play this quick video for you.
Amy, it says you are trained in technology. That's very good. Are you adept at Excel?
No.
PowerPoint?
No.
Publisher?
Not really.
Exactly in what area of technology are you proficient?
Snapchat, Pinterest, Instagram, Vine, Twitter. You know, the big ones.
I'm surprised you didn't say Facebook.
That's for old people, like my parents. That's funny.
Well, Amy, when you're working for me, you have to have those kind of research skills, because I'll send you things for you to comb through and get the answers and send them to me. So for that, you've got to be really good at technology.
For stuff like that, no problem. I'll just ask Siri.
You'll just ask Siri?
You know, Siri tell me this, Siri find me that. We're all good at getting you the answers.
Tell Siri I want you ready to go at 8 sharp each and every morning.
I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
What you just said.
You don't understand be ready to go?
No. You said 8, right?
Yes.
8 like in the morning 8?
Yes, in the morning.
Yeah, that kind of doesn't work for me. Who gets up at 8?
I do.
I Skype with my French boyfriend in Paris until like 3 in the morning. I don't even get to Starbucks until like 10, where I order my grande chai tea latte, 3 pump skim milk, light water, 2% foam, extra hot but not too hot. So if it's okay, I work best in the morning at 10:45.
Wow. Amy, I don't think we're going to be a good fit.
Why are you so negative? I can sense your hostilities, and right now I am not feeling very safe. I've been here for over 5 minutes, and the only nice thing you have said to me was nice resume, which I typed all night for this meeting with you. You've given me no guidance, no validation, no encouragement, no supervision. Is there an HR director somewhere?
HR director?
Yes, I need to speak to someone. I may have to take off today as a mental health day.
Take the day off. Amy, look at me. You don't work here.
Are you firing me?
Okay, yes.
As you can see, this is a hilarious example of, and of course, significantly over the top. But I do recognize my eldest daughter in this video. She would act exactly the same in terms of an interview or talking to people. So yes, the challenges of what candidates expect are significantly different than they have been in the past. And the question is, how have you adapted? What are you doing to now create a candidate experience that not only serves senior people that are normally slightly older, but also the millennials and Generation Z? I would like you to think about that a little bit. And if you want, you can share it in the chat box, but I would like you to think about what is your biggest candidate experience challenge at the moment? Is that to do with specific expectations? Is that to do with the speed of the process? Is that to do with the quality of the assessment? What is your biggest challenge at the moment? Because if you look at recruitment per se, and to be honest, recruitment hasn't changed significantly or in a great manner ever since I've been working. And as you can see with my gray hairs, I've been working for quite a few years. And I've come to the conclusion, actually traditional recruitment doesn't work for millennials and generations. Because 75% of candidates think that conventional way of recruitment is outdated. 50% actually have an element of unconscious bias included. 65% of candidates don't get any feedback on the job application, and 3/4 of them then actually share that negative experience somebody else. 30% of new hires live within the first 6 months, and 60% think it's too long, and 90% unstructured screening interviews provide the wrong insight. So we're doing something really, really wrong to hit these numbers. And of course, it costs a significant amount of money because, as you can see, if 30% of new hires leave, you can imagine the cost and the opportunity cost to the company if that happens. And the main pain point is to do with the pre-screening interview, and as a result, the candidate experience that you subsequently create. So the problem is, in my view, is that we're trying to engage 21st century talent using 19th century theories and 20th century tools. And of course, that doesn't work. Because what top candidate expectations is they want it now. People can get everything instantly. Whether it's the latest show that they want to watch, whether it's a beverages that they want to buy, whether it's the access to information. People have access to information instantly and access to service instantly. And as a result, they also want access to results of a candidate, of a recruitment experience immediately. The second part is that millennials also want to be visually engaged. You can't engage a millennial with filling out an online form with 50 different questions, or a psychometric that answers 80 different questions online. You can't engage a millennial anymore with just boring, unstructured interviews. They have to come to an. We have to change it. Similarly, I think that all of us agree most of our recruitment processes, for many reasons, either we don't want to communicate the outcome, we don't have the time to communicate the outcome, or line managers have not shared feedback, so we don't know what the reasons is. And as a result, it is not transparent, and often different candidates are being treated in different manners. And people want feedback. They even want feedback in terms of what has happened, where do they stand, and what's next. And last but not least, it has to be mobile. If you don't allow people to actually interact, respond, or play the whole process through mobile phones, then I think you're again walking behind the curve. Let me just quickly answer a question that's been put in the chat. Do you have any data? Do you have the data? How many percentage of candidates which hires decide to take their resignation to the disappointment the organization structure? No, to be honest, I don't have that data directly. But I think certainly for millennials and Generation Z, the main reasons that people leave, one is flexibility, two is work environment, and three is learning and growth opportunities. Those are in almost every survey are the three reasons that people at the early part of their career leave companies. So thank you for the question. So not only the candidate has got issues with the current way of recruitment, there are also organizational pain points that are there. And I specifically now focus on large volume recruitment. So for example, you're setting up a new retail store, or five new retail outlets need to be set up. You need to recruit 50 people for a new retail outlet. You have to set up bank branches, and with 100 new bank branches are being set up, you need to recruit 700 people for that. You are going to recruit interns, in which you get 10,000 candidates, and you want to recruit 50 interns. Management trainees, or program of management trainee programs, in which you got 20,000 resumes, and in which you only have 20 opportunities. The organizational pain points in volume recruiting is that there's very poor insights. So research has shown that in large volume recruitment, average time that a reviewer looks at a resume of an individual is 8.3 seconds. In 8.3 seconds, they make a decision whether they want to invite an individual for an interview or not. And I don't know about you, but in 8.3 seconds, I will not be able, no matter how much experience I have, being able to make an unbiased decision of whether this person justifies the because basically what you look at GPA, university, maybe gender, and most likely, if you like me, you also look at the picture and make a decision about whether the picture requires to identify that individual. So poor insights, biased decisions. Thirdly, if you get 20,000 resumes, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort in order to go through 30,000 resumes. So I would not like to be in the shoes of the HR, the recruitment manager, who has to go through 20,000 resumes in order to identify 500 per interview and then subsequently interview 500. And of course, COVID has proven us that we have to create virtual solutions that people from anywhere, everywhere can do. And then reducing time, reducing cost, and improving convenience for both the recruiter as well as for the individual candidate. These are some of the organizational things. For the recruiter, it's all about wasting time because on the basis of poor insights, you really don't know what the qualities of the candidates that you will have in the interview. They've got a lot of issues, but because of biased decisions, that you don't get a diverse talent pool in the room that you would like. Again, takes a lot of time, and it is pretty boring. It's a pretty tough job to do for the young recruiter. So there's from a candidate, recruiter, as well as from an organization, there are a lot of pain points with the current process, and therefore, you have to really dramatically enhance the candidate experience. And doing that, these are so to engage 21st century talent, you have to provide them with 21st century solutions. And these are from my 5 different elements that I think are extremely important in order to on the one hand, create that candidate experience, and on the other hand, address recruiter pain points. I think first and foremost, if you don't go digital, forget it. Yeah, I think that's a basic requirement now. I do trust that all of you have now digital solutions, ATPs that you use, and that 99% of your process is digitalized. If it's not, first step to do. Second one, even at an early stage as possible, it is better to start using assessment in order to get significantly better insights in the quality of the candidates, and at the same time to have a standardized approach across all applicants, so they think it's a level playing field. And I know that you would say, how do I afford 10,000 assessments? And again, that's where technology and a solution like ourselves comes to play, because I think you can now deploy gamified assessment solutions that actually cost less than using the assessments that are currently being offered by other organizations. The third one, and there comes the kicker, is around, instead of inviting people to fill in a boring spreadsheet or a boring form, or to do a number of online interviews, I think it would be very powerful to engage in the games. Games that give us a reflection of the work that we're going to do later, games that allows them to actually don't see it as an interview and don't see it as an assessment. And at the same time, therefore, being able to really display themselves as well as have more fun with it. Using assessment, using games, and do it digitally, then also allows you to share feedback immediately, because you have a direct, collected the information from that individual on how he has performed against each of your assessments using the game. And then on top of that, you can compare his assessment with all the other candidates that have played. So opportunity is then to immediately share feedback with the candidate, not so much immediately about whether he will be selected for the next round, but at least feedback in terms of how he's done on the assessment. What is the profile? What are the strengths that came out of the assessment? And what give suggestions on how you can he or she improve. And then last but not least, you have to integrate all those elements into a single platform to manage it with your APS. And if you do that, I think you can create a very different candidate experience, and at the same time provide so many opportunities for the recruiter to be more effective and to be more effective and to be fast. So what I would like to share is a solution that, in our experience, and of course it's not so much about me as the CEO of the company saying that, but listening to our clients in terms of and looking at the feedback that candidates have given us on the basis of the gamified assessment that we deploy to our customers. So we are lucky enough to have now for 2 years in a row won a number of very prestigious awards around best candidate experience, best AI recruitment platform, best innovation, fastest growing product, etc., etc. So we're very proud that it's not only our clients who are recognizing us, but also that that's being recognized by the community at large through these awards. So what are gamified assessments? First and foremost, a gamified assessment is a proven psychometric assessment. So first and foremost is the psychometric science that goes behind it. And then it's been enhanced with game style elements to make it more engaging for candidates. Yeah? So psychometric science comes first, that captures job relevant abilities and personality data, and that is then a robust predictor of future success. And the game elements are then simply there for a number of reasons. One, to make it more engaging. Secondly, to let the candidate not feel that he's being assessed at the same time. So the benefits of gamified assessment are at least 5 things. First and foremost, I've told you many times, I think it's significantly more fun. Secondly, is that because everybody is doing the same assessment, all 20,000 candidates are playing the same game, all 100,000 candidates are playing the same game, things are being fair because everybody has got the same playing field, level playing field. Biases are taken out because everybody's doing the same. There's no judgment whatsoever. And the algorithms that we have make sure is that the candidates will be presented to the recruiter in a way on how they score on each of the different assessments. As a result, you as a recruiter get significantly better candidate insights. Like I said, there's a huge difference between you looking at a resume for 8.3 seconds and coming to a conclusion whether this is a good candidate, or you're looking at 10 different assessments that a candidate has played in that game, and on the basis of 10 different assessments, come to a conclusion whether you should invite that candidate to an interview. And of course, as a result, the quality of people that come through the door for interviews improves. You can spend more time on quality candidates. The rejection rates of the interviews will be significantly less, and everybody wins. And because you use technology, it doesn't matter whether you're using 500, 150 candidates, or 50,000 candidates. I'm going to give you an example soon of one of our clients, which is FIFA, the Qatar World Cup 2022, that is using our tool, where in the last 3 months, 128,000 candidates have been assessed through our game. And as a result, you can do it much cheaper and much faster. So this is just a summary of the 30, 35 different assessments that we currently have developed. It's a combination of aptitude assessments, cognitive ability assessments, and then 20 different competency-based behavioral assessments. So we create, either our candidates or our client chooses from the off-the-shelf assessments that we have, or the customer, the client asks to make specific customized gamified assessments for their company. We do both. One, of course, is faster and cheaper. The other one is more personalized, focused on your brand, and adds even more value to the organization and to your employer brand. So what are the options? These are the options in terms of what some other companies are doing, which is the left-hand side, and the right-hand side is something that we do. So we provide a full range of assessments: aptitude, cognitive ability, as well as behavioral. We can make fully customized solutions. And the other thing is that I think that's the big difference with the other providers out there is that we actually have created a game that reflects real-world life scenarios for 2 reasons. One, it's much more interesting for the candidate who's applying for a role to understand what it is like to work in that environment, rather than just play a number of Candy Crush games. Secondly, it allows you as an employer to showcase your culture and your work environment to the candidate. And the other thing is that we stand out is that actually our solution, you buy for an unlimited number of assessments. So whether you do 1,000 or 100,000 assessments, for us, the price is the same. And as a result, the higher the volume. As a result, we invite really candidates of companies to invite as many people as possible to play the game. That gives you an opportunity to showcase your brand. That gives you an opportunity to invite a much more diverse talent, because we know the game and the assessment in the game will do the hard work of shortlisting the candidates that are the best fit against your competencies. So I'm going to showcase you a quick video that explains the product in a little bit more detail. For me to showcase what we're doing through a nice little video, but I think what is even more important is to understand what the clients say. So one of our anchor clients is Nestlé in Oceania, Africa, and also in Europe. At the moment, if any students want to have an internship in any of these geographies, they actually have to play the Nestmanship Gamified Assessment. So this is launched now in 130 different countries in the Middle East, Scandinavia. Till date, we have about 250,000 students that have played the game. And as you can see, the net promoter score is 51%, which is almost as close as Amazon, which is always my benchmark in terms of candidate, in terms of customer experience. So 51% net promoter score. 91% of candidates think that on the basis of the game itself, on the reflection that it has, that Nestlé provide a work environment, and even 94% of the candidates said there was a fun experience. And as you can see, Droop, who's been working with Nestlé until a couple of months ago, gave us this recommendation, which I think says a lot about my customer service team, client service team. So yeah, these are all kinds of social media things that we also do for the clients, in which we actually try to attract as many people to register for the game and to create that buzz. And as like I said, 250,000 people have applied across these regions and have played that game as a result. Similarly, we've done this for Shell. 93. We've done this for a large number for that graduate program in the internship program, in which we've done a number of different assessments, and in which they had 18,000 applications received and 10,000 candidates were assessed. And as you can imagine, having to go through 18,000 resumes or assessing 10,000 candidates, it's not something that you would like to do as a recruiter. You can only do that using technology. And I think as a result, they were very happy in order to present the candidates that they had for their management training. Similarly, we've done this for Mazam in Vietnam. It's a large consumer business where they had 4,400 candidates and 3,600 candidates. A quick one. I'm going to skip this one because I don't want to overburden you with things. So to wrap it up, I think the key thing is that in order to address creating a better candidate experience that has such significant benefits for your employer brand as well as for your company reputation, to improve significantly the pain points that recruiters and the organization has with regards to large-scale recruitment, you have to transform that experience using 24th century tools. If you do that in a fun, engaging, digital way, then you can give immediate feedback to candidates and you can give immediate feedback for yourself. So, for example, anybody that has played our game automatically gets a candidate report in which they show their scores against the assessments. They show how they compare versus a large group of similar people. And even more important, we actually make recommendations on what candidates can do to improve their scores, even if whether it's a strength or development area. So we give back to the candidate. It's not we, you as a client give back to the candidate. And as you can imagine, the impact that has on the candidate experience is dramatic. Similarly, you don't want to go through 10,000 candidates. You want to use a tool that does that for you, in which you automatically can integrate it with your ATS, in which you even automatically can send out video interview invites for people to give you a video interview. And we've even done not just gamified assessment, video interview, but we also have done for a lot of companies virtual assessments, in which we actually take it in a virtual assessment center that we do a third round for companies in terms of finding solutions. If you're interested, you can always book a free demo. We would love to take you through the whole solution. But specifically, I want to take you through how you can add value to your candidate experience and solve some of your pain points. I'm more than willing to take any questions that you have. Amanda?
Sorry, the sound is not really stable here. Okay, thank you, Mr. Paul. Oh, that's an incredibly new, interesting, and fun presentation of material, Mr. Paul. Maybe before we jump to the Q&A session, let us also short introducing our company, namely Talent Fit Indonesia, which will be presented by Mr. Aisha. Would you mind to stop your share screen, Mr. Paul?
Hey, give me just only 5 minutes, Paul, to introduce our company to this amazing participant, because this is a Saturday and this is an afternoon, but they still on this classroom. Really, really amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, kita akan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia untuk memperkenalkan apa itu Talent Fit. Perkenalkan, kami dari Talent Fit Indonesia, ini hanya 5 menit saja. Kami adalah HR Consulting yang memang kita akan ingin membantu teman-teman dari organisasi untuk bisa lebih membuat organisasi yang lebih agile. Tetapi melalui apa? Kita melalui HR Technology itu sendiri. Yang kita memang kalau lihat dari beberapa fitur atau beberapa service yang kita punya adalah ada di bawah ini. Kami berdiri di tahun 2016, tetapi sampai saat ini kita sudah lebih dari 200 company yang sudah bersama kami, dan kami sudah melakukan lebih dari 2 juta assessment di seluruh Indonesia yang kita kontrol semuanya hanya dari Jakarta. Sehingga itu kalaupun memang ada assessment di tengah-tengah hutan Kalimantan atau di tengah-tengah Papua, itu nggak masalah sama sekali karena memang kita menggunakan online yang memang masih sudah sangat-sangat kecil ininya bandwidth-nya. Ini adalah beberapa klien kami. This is our clients. Mulai dari manufaktur, technology, education. So there is some of consultant too become our client too. State-owned company, mining and energy, service and contractor, and logistics and hospitality itu sendiri. Kita juga sudah mulai masuk ke dalam project-project data analytics alias big data analytics untuk people analytics itu sendiri. Nah, service kita paling besarnya di sini adalah kita dibagi menjadi dua, yaitu adalah HR strategic stream, mulai dari organization analytics alias mungkin Bapak Ibunya tahunya adalah organization development. Ada people analytics mulai dari nanti people analytics yang untuk organisasi dan untuk assessment. Talent strategic, performance management system, dan yang kedua adalah HR operation yang mulai dari HRIS sampai ke background information. OD, kita lebih benar-benar sangat-sangat OD, mulai dari organization setting, bikin KPI, job analisa, job evaluation, workload analysis, workforce planning, even sampai ke change management kita bisa lakukan dan kita sudah memiliki banyak project. Lalu ini adalah performance management system yang kita memang sudah menggunakan sistem sehingga kita melihat bahwa performance tidak perlu harus hari atau quarterly atau cuma hanya semesterly, tetapi bisa everyday performance yang kita bisa tracking. Ini kita lanjut aja. Nah, ini people analytics yang kita sudah lakukan. Kita sudah bisa langsung mempredik sebenarnya misalnya kalau berapa orang yang akan resign, how many people to be resignation in the next 2 years or maybe in the next years, dan apa aja sih sebenarnya yang menjadi penyebabnya dan berapa persen dari setiap penyebab tersebut, sehingga kita sudah bisa melihat bahwa oke, kalau tahun depan akan ada yang namanya resign sekitar 20 orang selain selain yang memang yang pensiun dan sebagainya. Berarti kita sudah bisa harus istilahnya membudgetkan rekrutmen akan seperti apa kan ya, gitu. Ini ada beberapa project-project yang lainnya. Nah, di people analytics selain yang tadi organization, kita juga memiliki online assessment. Salah satunya memang kami berpartner dengan The Talents Games, yaitu dengan gamification assessment-nya itu sendiri. Sekian itu yang dari kami untuk penjelasannya. Kami memiliki ada satu lagi terkait tentang service kami, yaitu adalah di talent. Ini sama ya tadi, ini virtual assessment center. Nah, kami memiliki ada talent strategiknya. Talent strategik itu kami yang pertama adalah ada RPO atau recruitment process outsourcing, atau mungkin seringnya adalah headhunting. Tetapi kalau headhunting itu cuma hanya di kepala-kepalanya, kalau kami sampai ke staff-staffnya. Lalu yang kedua adalah talent management system itu sendiri, bahwa kami memiliki sistem di mana kami bisa melihat bahwa kalau ada orang setelah di-assess dan sebagainya, sebenarnya jalur karirnya yang paling dekat kemana saja, dan kalau nanti pun memang ternyata ada gap kompetensi, itu harus gap yang mana saja dan harus di-developnya seperti apa secara otomatis. Sekian Ibu Manda, jika memang masih ada yang pengen ditanyakan, langsung aja hubungi Ibu Manda untuk janjian ketemu. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Bapak Resha atas pemaparannya. Could we start the Q&A session, Mr. Paul?
Yes, of course. There's already a question being put in the chat.
In Slido is already a few questions here. So for the first question, is there any research that gamification is the choices of millennials candidates?
Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear you correctly.
Is there any research that gamification is the choices of millennials candidates?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't put it in the slide, but I think 2 years ago a research company, and this was in the UK, did a research around how. Are you more interested in a gamified assessment or a normal assessment? I think the answer was about 85% of candidates prefer a gamified assessment tool. My experience in Asia, and we've now got clients all over the world. My experience in Asia is that actually the percentage is significantly higher. and it's close to 95% of candidates that want to play a game rather than an old-fashioned. How I personally always explain this is that you really have to. Doesn't matter how you transform the recruitment process, but you have to transform it. You have to find a way to make a more engaging and candidate experience. You can do it through gamified recruitment. You can do it another way. But I think what we have found is that if a couple of companies start, a lot of other companies, so candidates candidates are starting to demand it. Love to answer that. And the answer is yes, of course. We have done a lot of validity and reliability research, and on our website you can find quite a bit of papers with regards to the statistics. One thing in particular, two things in particular that I would like to highlight is that with one client we actually did an A/B testing. So for 6 months, they did a process in which all their candidates went through their gamified assessment tool. And also in the same 6 months, the same candidates also went through the traditional recruitment tool in which HR business partners were doing, experienced recruiters were doing the recruitment or were doing the interviews. And they did it for about 50 different positions. And I'm very happy that the results, to share that the results were that 47 out of those 50 situations, the top 3 candidates that came out of the game were exactly as the same as the top 3 candidates that came out of the interview. And I think that is a great support. Secondly, we also done some research with regards to predictability, because when you collect so much data, the interesting thing, of course, is more around, can you predict on the basis of our game who's going to be successful in the process? So for one bank who had about 23,000 candidates, we were able to create an algorithm with 70% accuracy. We were able to predict which candidates would get an offer and which candidates would not get an offer. And I don't know about you, but I don't think any of your current recruitment tools will have a predictability accuracy of 70%.
All right, that's for the one who feel like asking this question, would you please raise your hands? Mr. or Mrs.? Does the answer have answered enough your question, or there's another question? Okay. Okay, maybe we can jump to the second question, Mr. Paul. For the second question is there any restriction age for this gamification? Example, for managers of senior manager who already up to 40, is it still suitable?
Yeah. I think there's I don't think that games have got a specific age limitation. Yeah, we're not playing a shooter game or any other game. And to be honest, any 40-year-olds will have played video games as well. So I don't think so much is to do with age and the ability to play games. What I do think there is, however, a differentiation between junior positions, mid-level positions, and senior positions. So we've been able to create a game that's able to assess junior of independent contributors and team leaders, first-line supervisors. So basically, people that are entry level, can also be blue collar, all the way to first-line supervisor. It's much more difficult, and I think much more consequential, to actually then create games for senior employees. And to be honest, if I would apply for a CFO role, I would feel not very comfortable. One, on the quality of a game that is able to assess me. Secondly, I think it doesn't look too good for for the company if I want to play a game. So I think it's particularly focused on people that are, let's say, between 18 and 32. That would be the best age range.
Okay, so all age can use gamified assessment, right? Example.
Yeah, but it's primarily for junior positions up to first-line supervisors.
Mm-hmm. For the third question, from Tara, how many effective and efficient applying and using gamification assessment, both for the recruiter and candidates? Is this easier to understand regarding usage?
Sorry, I didn't get the first bit of the question.
Repeat.
Can you please repeat?
Maybe Ibu Tara can speak by Ibu Tara herself to Pak Paul.
Ibu Tara is here. Would you please raise your hand?
All right.
Okay, Ibu Tara, would you please ask your question?
Is my voice clear?
Very clear.
Very clear.
All right. The question is how many effective and efficient applying and using gamification assessment, but for the recruiter and candidates. Is this easier to understand regarding usage?
Yes, I'm not sure how to answer that one, but so because from a candidate perspective, how this works is basically the recruiter, either through social media platforms or through email or through any other media, can be on their website, actually put up a link to the game, and as a result, the candidate only has to click the link in either a mobile format or a computer format, and as a result, it's very easy to play. The recruiter will get access to a reporting portal in which all the candidates are listed in a leaderboard title, in which they can filter and sort candidates both on the game assessment score, but also on the demographics. So if you would like to, if you're looking for example, for a sales rep in a specific region in Java, then you let people play the game, and then you can short list the candidates that only come from that particular region. You can even add demographics with regard to university and what background they have. And you can then, in the reporting portal, make short list of candidates that fit not only the demographic criteria, but also the assessment criteria.
Is it clear enough, Ms. Tara?
Clear enough. Much appreciated for the answer.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, can we next to the fourth question, Mr. Paul? For the fourth question, what the benefits if we use gamification assessment?
Well, the benefits is on the one hand that you as a recruiter don't have to go through 10,000 resumes. You let the system do the work for you. Secondly, there's significantly less bias in it because you created a level playing field. And thirdly, you can do it faster and cheaper. For the candidate, it's much more fun. They get feedback and it is more transparent.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer, Mr. Paul. This question is anonymous, so maybe we can move to the next question. How to get effective ways to find candidate?
How to get effective ways to
find candidate?
So the problem is the candidate itself, Paul. So when we send the link for the assessment or the test is we have to search about the candidate first, right? So this is the problem is how we can search the candidate or maybe, yeah, searching for the.
Yes. So I actually turned that problem around. Yeah. So I think what you do is you use all kinds of social media to source different candidates, and those candidates then to apply for the role after they then have the assessment. So the solution itself doesn't solve the sourcing problem. The sourcing, we offer, and I'm sure Talent First is also offering all kinds of talent sourcing techniques and solutions as well. This is to get this solution is specifically focused on pre-screening to get from 10,000 to 500 or to 200. Or in the case of FIFA, to go from 125,000 to 20,000. I've got 5 minutes left until I've got a next appointment, Amanda. So, is there any last question that I can answer?
Okay, maybe there's a last question.
In the chat.
Or maybe we can take picture first before you leave, Mr. Paul. For the candidate who can turn on their camera, would you please turn on your camera? Okay.
Hi, participants.
Right.
Sorry.
So maybe after we take the picture, one last question in the chat, yeah,
Right.
from Ibu Nur Farida.
Okay. Is it all? Can we take the picture now? Can the admin help me?
Okay, please all stand by. 1, 2, and 3. One more time. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
Right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Zia. Maybe can we answer the last question, Mr. Paul?
Untuk sisanya nanti sama saya boleh. Nanti ada beberapa.
Okay. Baik kalau begitu. Mungkin.
So,
Question from
the last question for you, Mr. Paul. A conventional assessment use a lot of psychometric tools, such as reliability or validity measurements, to convince the users that the tools are really useful to measure a lot of competencies. How about these gamification assessment tools? Is there any psychometric tools also that you use to measure the gamification method will be more effective than the conventional way?
I don't think there's any tools that the bar is to make sure is that an assessment is reliable and valid. For that, there are all kinds of the assessment psychologists have got a number of measures, and all our tests have been gone through that research, through that assessment, and all our tests are indeed passing validity and reliability tests. Yeah, so there's a specific requirements on validity and reliability. Those are part, and as a result, the outcome is similar in terms of reliability of the results. We just do it through a game. Other people do it through paper and pen or through an online form.
Okay.
All right. I do have to take your leave if you allow me. My apologies for being on a timestamp.
It's okay, Paul. Thank you very much for your time. So the rest of the question will be my answer, or we can take you to the email and you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I invite everybody to go to the website and actually book a demo. We would love to, and my team would love to speak to you directly and explore how we can add value to your recruitment process.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oke, selamat sore Bapak dan Ibu semua. Untuk beberapa questions, mungkin memang kalau ada yang sangat-sangat masih bisa kita jawab, akan saya jawab sekarang. Tapi mungkin kalau nanti ada yang saya pasti bilang, oh ini saya belum bisa jawab, saya pasti akan kirimkan kepada Paul untuk bisa nanti Paul yang akan menjawab dan akan dikirimkan ke Bapak dan Ibu. Oke, mungkin kita lanjutkan dulu pertanyaannya. Ada beberapa yang kalau saya lihat dari slide yang belum, yang mana aja ya?
Mulai dari pertanyaan Mas Gilang Rahmat.
Oke, dari Mas Gilang Rahmat, dalam rekrutmen biasanya akan banyak kandidat yang memiliki portofolio yang bagus. Untuk memilih kandidat yang cocok pada company, HR melakukan penilaian dengan cara apa? Ya, kalau dari best practice-nya memang kalau kita lihat sekarang banyak banget CV yang memang kelihatannya sangat bagus, apalagi sudah banyak template yang mengatakan dengan CV yang bagus. Apalagi kalau kita lihat lagi LinkedIn, sudah banyak, walaupun kita adalah misalnya cuma admin, tetapi kan bisa dikatakan dengan seperti apa gitu ya. Jadi portofolionya terlihat bagus. Nah, salah satu cara yang memang untuk kita bisa memilih kandidat dengan baik adalah memang menggunakan tes itu sendiri. Bisa menggunakan tes yang konvensional kalau memang ada konvensional, tetapi kalau kita masuk ke dalam acara hari ini, itu adalah kita menggunakan talent games, alias memang kita menggunakan gamification assessment. Kita akan menggunakan assessment online, mereka disuruh bermain game, tetapi ternyata sedang diakses. Gitu, Mas Gilang. Jadi, setelah dari situ kita akan bisa lihat sebenarnya orang ini memiliki yang mana yang bagus, mana yang cocok dengan perusahaan atau tidak. Gitu. Nah, apa sih benefit yang gamification assessment? Tadi sudah dijelaskan, nanti kita akan kirimkan bahannya. Gitu ya. Lalu kita masuk ke dalam
question Mbak Azhalia mungkin, Pak Rey.
Azhalia yang mana? Sorry. Oh, yang di bawah yang baru ya. After the candidate have done gamification assessment, they will get a psychometric result. The possibility of candidate for manipulation or blocking or low is low. Nah, di gamification di talent games ini memang kita sudah memiliki ada beberapa fitur. Yang pertama adalah kita bisa menggunakan yang namanya kamera proctoring dan pengenalan wajah. Sehingga pada saat kamera proctoring itu, pada saat kandidat melakukan assessment, itu akan dimonitor karena kameranya, untuk kamera kalau di laptop ya, kamera laptop atau kamera yang memang dipakai, itu akan terus merekam dan sudah menggunakan AI-nya untuk mengenali bahwa wajah yang didaftarkan memang wajahnya itu, dan selama perjalanan assessment itu juga akan terus itu. Kalau nanti ada orang di sebelahnya, nanti juga akan kedetek dan itu akan langsung ada notifikasinya. Seperti itu. Udah sampai ke sana. Nah, lalu karena udah itu selesai, kita masuk ke dalam.
Mbak Azlia sudah cukup terjawab, Mbak Azlia. Mbak Azha.
Maaf, saya cepet-cepet.
Mbak Azhalia.
Enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mbak Azalia. Nah, kita masuk ke dalam pertanyaan yang dari Ibu Mirna di chat. Is the gamification assessment also effective for the competency mapping of internal employee? Sepanjang tadi bahwa kalau memang kalau yang ini ya, kami pada saat kami sudah bekerja sama dengan Talent Games kan sudah hampir 1 tahun lebih. Nah, mereka sangat mengatakan bahwa ini sangat efektif untuk yang di bawah 3 tahun bekerja. Kenapa? Karena itu kan pasti muda-muda ya. Dan ini memang tadi ada age restriction-nya dari Pak Paul juga tadi bilang. Kenapa? Karena kalau udah ke atas itu nanti akan lebih banyak. Yang pertama adalah adanya bias di mana mereka akan merasa bahwa ini kan ada istilahnya sudah punya pengalaman lebih banyak dalam hal bekerja, lalu akan ada bias-bias di mana pada saat pemilihan itu lebih kepada social desirability. Gitu. Nah, apakah bisa menggunakan kompetensinya masing-masing atau kompetensinya Bapak dan Ibu? Yes, bisa. Sehingga nanti kita bisa bikin custom dan nanti secara gamification-nya itu akan disesuaikan, misalnya gambarnya, orangnya, kasusnya, itu bisa disesuaikan sehingga nanti akan terasanya, oh ini kasusnya di sini ya, gitu.
Baik, Bu Mirna, apa sudah cukup menjawab? Halo, Bu Mirna. Bergabung bersama kami? Oh, siap. Baik. Kalau begitu, pertanyaan terakhir mungkin Pak Rey. Does gamified assessment same as well with assessment center? Dari Bapak Irsyad.
Oh, iya. Sip. Sorry kalau tadi kecepatan, karena tadi gara-gara Paul-nya pengen cepet-cepet, jadi saya juga cepet-cepet. Nah, apakah gamification assessment itu sama seperti assessment center? Itu berbeda. Kenapa? Karena kalau gamification itu kita melihatnya adalah potensi dari kompetensi. Sedangkan kalau assessment center kita melihatnya adalah kompetensi. Sehingga itu juga akan berbeda. Itu yang pertama. Lalu kalau yang keduanya adalah pada saat kalau kita melihat dari simulasinya, saya sambil lihatin ini aja kali ya. Dari simulasinya, nanti simulasi-simulasi yang ada di gamification itu adalah lebih kepada kalau kita mau melihat untuk behavior itu kita akan menggunakan yang namanya situational judgment test. Nah, situational judgment test-nya ini memang nanti ini udah bahasa Indonesia juga ya, yang sudah di-approve juga dengan para psikolog. Nah, jadi kalau gamification di situational judgment test ini, misalnya nanti kita akan ada cerita di mana kita akan ada di sebuah perusahaan menjadi sebuah orang karyawan. Nah, dari seorang karyawan tersebut, sorry. Kelihatan kan ya? Masih kelihatan? Nah, dari kita sebagai seorang karyawan tersebut, misalnya lagi ngobrol nih dengan atasan, terus tiba-tiba secara cerita datanglah seorang bos. Bos kalau tiba-tiba datang, kalau kita lagi gibah, karena apa biasanya? Membawa sebuah isu atau enggak membawa kerjaan ya. Nah, ternyata di sini ceritanya adalah membawa isu, ternyata ada loh language isu terkait tentang they don't speak English. Nah, setiap respon yang akan kita pilih ini akan membawa kepada cerita yang berbeda. Mungkin kalau di sini ada angkatan-angkatan di mana dulu ada goosebump, kita bisa memilih cerita tersendiri. Nah, seperti itu. Jadi nanti kalau kita memilih respon yang pertama, itu nanti akan direspon sama bosnya seperti apa, yang nanti akan pilihannya akan seperti apa. Sehingga setiap orang itu jadi bisa berbeda, walaupun secara roles-nya nanti misalnya dia aja sebagai seorang ini ya, yang tadi ini, itu ya sama. Tetapi apa yang akan dirasakan, apa yang akan dilalui, itu akan berbeda. Selamat sore kepada Bapak dan Ibu yang baru datang. Sebenarnya kita, Pak Paul-nya sudah selesai. Kita sekarang lagi question and answer. Yang dimana kalau memang masih bisa kita jawab, akan kita jawab. Yang masih kita belum bisa jawab, nanti akan kita kirimkan email kepada Pak Paul untuk dijawab, untuk nanti bisa dijawab berikutnya. Gitu. Nah, kita lanjut ya, tadi ya, bedanya dengan assessment center. Nah, sehingga nanti kita akan bisa langsung melihat bahwa sebenarnya orang ini akan kecenderungannya ke arah mana. Kembali bahwa memang ini adalah potensi dari kompetensi, sehingga emang ini lebih kepada kecenderungan. Kecuali kalau nanti kita mau custom. Gitu. Kalau custom nanti akan disesuaikan dengan kompetensinya masing-masing. Gitu. Nah, ini seperti inilah yang kalau di kognitifnya, cognitive ability-nya mulai dari divided attention, planning, inhibitory control, dan memang masih banyak lagi game-game yang memang masih belum kita bisa lihatkan seperti ini. Nah, bagaimana validity dan reliability-nya? Nah, kalau kita kembali kepada dasarnya, bahwa memang kita pasti akan melihatnya semuanya berdasarkan dari sains atau dari jurnal-jurnal yang memang terbukti, alias kalau mau dibilang validity dan reliability-nya pasti sudah sesuai dengan apa yang memang sudah menjadi batasnya validity dan reliability. Nah, kalau dari kami di talent games atau di gamification ini adalah kami berpikirnya adalah kami memiliki psychometric terlebih dahulu. Dari psychometric ini baru berpikir bagaimana psychometric ini dibawa menjadi gamification atau jadi games. Bukan oke, saya punya games, lalu apakah games ini bisa mengukur apa ya? Bukan ke arah sana. Sehingga si psychometric ini sudah memiliki validity dan reliability-nya itu sendiri. Tetapi tadi kembali, karena ini sudah dibuat games, sehingga kita memiliki ada restriction tertentu. Contoh tadi adalah lebih kepada umur. Bagaimana umur itu akan mempengaruhi dari cara jawab, dari kecepatan, dari hal-hal yang memang akhirnya kita tidak bisa kontrol. Sehingga kita akan kontrolnya adalah di pada peserta itu harus umurnya di mana. Gitu. Nah, kembali kalau kita masuk ke dalam custom, bagaimana nih kalau kita mau custom, bisa nggak sih? Bisa, tetapi jadi contohnya seperti ini kalau custom. Kalau memang ternyata perusahaan bapak dan ibu adalah manufaktur, nanti kita akan buat benar-benar suasananya manufaktur, orang-orangnya orang-orang manufaktur. Lalu kasusnya juga kasus-kasus manufaktur. Bagaimana dengan perkebunan? Bisa juga nanti kita buatkan seperti perkebunan. Bagaimana kalau retail? Retail juga bisa seperti itu. Seperti itu sih. Jadi mungkin ada pertanyaan lagi. Nah, tetapi kalau custom kita butuh sampai 12 week alias 3 bulan. Nah, ini adalah tahapan-tahapannya. Di mana kalau nanti nih Bapak dan Ibu, oke nih kayaknya nih kita mau custom deh sesuai dengan kompetensinya kita. Nah, kita akan mencoba melihat dulu share your employer brand. Latar kandidatnya seperti apa? Kita nanti akan buatkan storyline-nya bagaimana. Kita akan coba desainkan dulu juga. Jika sudah approve, kita akan coba bikin game art-nya bagaimana. Dari situ, jika semuanya sudah approve, kita akan baru develop face game-nya. Setelah kita develop, baru kita akan coba tes ke internal. Kenapa? Ke internal saja. Karena kan pasti melihat validity-nya atau reliability-nya kepada internal. Buat apa? Karena tadi, kembali karena ini adalah menggunakan kompetensinya dari klien, gitu ya. Lalu ya setelah itu nanti pasti ada feedback dan sebagainya. Setelah itu nanti kalau Bapak dan Ibu memiliki sebuah sistem, udah memiliki sistem nih, kita langsung integrated aja. Jadi udah API. Jadi udah seamless, bukan lagi dari kita, bukan lagi dari Talent Games, itu sudah langsung dari sistemnya Bapak dan Ibu. Setiap hasilnya pun langsung ke Bapak dan Ibu. Gitu. Nah, kalau mungkin kita coba melihat demonya kali ya, biar lebih enak. Coba kita masih bisa. Nah, di Indonesia sendiri siapa aja yang sudah pernah mengerjakan? Kami di Indonesia itu sudah dengan dua. Yang pertama adalah Nestle tadi, salah satu Nestle-nya, tapi memang Nestle-nya adalah Nestle Asia, tapi yang sudah digunakan di Indonesia juga. Yang kedua adalah BRI. Tapi BRI tidak menggunakan custom sehingga saya masih bisa memperlihatkan karena ini bukan custom. Ini kita contoh aja seperti ini, kita masukkan saja. Ini karena apa? Saya buka untuk ini juga. Oke, nah. Jika sudah, nanti akan seperti ini gamesnya. Jadi nanti kalau yang bukan custom, kita akan benar-benar diceritakan bahwa nanti kita adalah orang baru yang baru masuk ke sebuah perusahaan, nanti akan ada pemandunya yang nanti akan menjelaskan setiap games yang akan dilakukan itu seperti apa. Saya harap menantikan hari ini. Nah, jika masih ini, kita sudah langsung aja mulai ya. Sebelum kita mulai, kami membutuhkan data Anda. Nah, tinggal masukin data saja. Personal number-nya. Ini biasanya adalah ID untuk internal. Date-nya, negaranya. Datanya. Uts. Oke, kualifikasinya apakah sudah sarjana, sudah selesai, universitasnya apa? Karena memang biasanya kita dipakai untuk buat lulusan baru. Inilah kita sekarang telah menyelesaikan semua formalitas. Sekarang mari kita perjalanan kita. Nah, kita akan menghadapi kalau memang yang bukan custom, itu kita akan langsung dihadapin dengan satu gedung, di mana gedung itu akan termasuk di dalamnya adalah games-games yang akan mengukur dari kompetensi yang akan dipilih. Nah, contoh kalau kita masuk ke dalam salah satu kompetensi yang untuk yang kognitif, nah kognitif itu ada box and short, ini akan seperti ini. Nah, tugas Anda adalah mengirimkan sejumlah kotak ke dalam tempat yang sesuaikan warnanya. Jadi kalau warnanya kuning, harus ke kuning. Contohkan, karena ini keluarnya adalah warnanya adalah abu, berarti kita harus arahkan ke abu. Dengan mengganti konveyornya. Mudah bukan? Mudah. Nah, itu baru tutorial, makanya mudah. Begitu dengan yang ininya, kita akan mulai kelimpungan. Ini kita akan melihatkan cuma hanya salah satu aja ya. Dan seterusnya. Nah, kan merah udah kelewat. Ya. Ya, seperti itu. Nanti makin banyak, makin panjang, makin lama, dan sebagainya. Ya, seperti itulah ya. Nanti akan ada skor yang nanti memang masih bisa kita masukkan. Itu bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu mungkin salah satu gamesnya saja yang mungkin bisa kita perlihatkan. Nanti kalau memang mau demo atau mau trial, boleh kasih hubungi kita saja sih. Seperti itu.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Bapak Reza. Siap, terima kasih banyak Bapak Reza. Apa masih ada yang mau bertanya? Boleh langsung raise hand. Mungkin kalau masih ada yang ingin bertanya. Baik. Kalau
apakah
sudah...
ini masih bisa dipakai di handphone? Kami menyarankan memang bisa pakai handphone, tetapi kalau untuk yang aptitude-nya aja. Tetapi kalau sudah menggunakan yang tadi cerita, karena nanti tadi ada perkataan-perkataan dan dialog yang takutnya nanti kalau di handphone jadi kecil, ya kami sarankan masih tetap menggunakan laptop minimal.
Ya, mungkin kalau sudah tidak ada yang bertanya, mungkin ada sedikit summary dari Pare secara keseluruhan webinar hari ini.
Okay. Baik, terima kasih banyak Mbak Amanda. Terima kasih Bapak dan Ibu setelah hadir pada webinar kami. Yang pertama adalah jangan lupa kami ini adalah series dari webinar yang akan dilakukan untuk menyambut 5 tahunnya kami dalam Fit Indonesia. Yang akan nanti ada acara puncaknya di tanggal 29 itu terkait tentang EVP atau Employee Value Proposition. Kita tahu di mana kalau sekarang sudah banyak layoff, kayaknya sekarang juga mintanya pada WFB. Lalu kita juga pada mintanya, kan kalau dulu masih berpikirannya adalah kantor itu harus Instagramable gitu kan ya. Nah, sekarang apakah masih harus seperti itukah dan sebagainya. Nah, nanti akan dibahas banyak di dalam webinar kami di tanggal 29. Nanti dari sisi company, nanti akan dari Pak Brian yang akan berbicara. Pak Gunawan ini adalah salah satu eksekutif muda ya, bukan eksekutif ya. Maksudnya anak muda yang memang sudah mencapai karirnya udah cukup tinggi dan sekarang udah jadi VP of People of Lemonilo. Lalu ada saya, nanti mungkin saya cuma lebih kepada memaparkan data-data dari LinkedIn yang akan kita akan lihatkan bahwa sebenarnya apa sih yang dicari sama anak muda. Dan nanti mungkin dari Pak Soleh lagi terkait tentang sebenarnya ini loh yang pekerja cari. Dan bagaimana caranya sebenarnya kita untuk bisa menanggulangi cerita itu. That's why kenapa Pak Soleh ini lebih dari Sobat Kerja Indonesia, karena nanti kita lihat dari sisi pekerja tuh sebenarnya mintanya apa sih? Apakah sekarang WFO itu menjadi salah satu yang burden, kenapa banyak orang resign, gitu ya. Terus kenapa lagi sekarang banyak yang layoff? Apa nih efek layoff kepada si company FAP-nya dan sebagainya. Nanti akan lebih banyak lebih berbicara ke sana. Jangan lupa untuk hadir dan mungkin daftar gitu ya. Itu untuk pertama. Nah, kalau untuk summary hari ini ya gamification atau gamification assessment ini akan membantu dalam hal melakukan yang namanya rekrutmen. Mulai dari bagaimana kita akan melakukan rekrutmennya secara teknologi. Jadi saya akan menggunakan pakai yang ini ya. Izinkan saya hanya menggunakan slide ini saja. Bagaimana gamification itu juga akan lebih banyak fun-nya dibandingkan kita melakukan assessment yang seperti biasa atau konvensional. Akan lebih banyak rich candidate insight. Kenapa? Karena kita akan membuka. Jadi sistemnya gamification assessment adalah unlimited assessment. Jadi kita buka, siapapun boleh daftar, siapapun boleh ikutan tes, sehingga kita bisa lihat sebenarnya orang ini orangnya sudah cukup oke atau belum, gitu ya. Keeping things fair, kenapa? Karena memang semua bias atau equation-nya itu semuanya sudah kita keluarkan, dan nanti akan lebih kepada cheaper dan faster. Gamification juga akan membantu dalam kandidat experience. Karena kita tahu saat ini banyak banget kandidat yang mengghosting recruiter. Pada saat recruiter tiba-tiba, oh ini udah oke nih, kita telepon. Nggak dijawab sama sekali. Nah, karena kami melihat bahwa ada 6 in 10 applicant admit abandoning a job application. 6 dari 10 hilang. Nah, dan dengan gamification, your candidate experience is reimagined. Itu aja. Terima kasih banyak.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Bapak Risha. Oh iya, untuk pemenang door prize-nya nanti akan kami langsung hubungi melalui WhatsApp. Ditunggu. Baik, mungkin itu terakhir dari kami. Baik, itu mungkin terakhir dari kami. Jangan lupa untuk tetap terupdate dalam rangkaian anniversary kami. Bisa dilihat langsung di Instagram atau LinkedIn. Mungkin itu saja. Terima kasih banyak semuanya telah hadir. Selamat siang.
Selamat sore semuanya. Terima kasih. Hari Sabtu sudah masih ada di dalam sini. Terima kasih.